Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about order of operations. Order of operations is kind of like a game, okay? You can think of it like you have to complete each level before going on to the next. So what we do, the way that we can remember this is please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, that's the acronym that we use a lot of time, or sometimes we call it PEMDAS. And here's what it means. So level 1 is parentheses. And what that means is that when we have a problem, we have to do any operations that are within parentheses first before moving on to the next step. The E, or our level 2, stands for exponents. Level 3 is multiplication and division. Now, the thing about multiplication and division is that when you have those two operations in your problem, you do whatever is first from left to right, okay? So again, you go from left to right when you're only at the multiplication and division step. If you have exponents, you need to figure out all the exponents first, but then the multiplication happens from left to right, okay? Let's write that over here. Okay. Okay. And finally, the A and the S stand for addition and subtraction. Okay, and again, once we're at the point of addition and subtraction, we go from left to right, which means sometimes we would be subtracting before we would be adding. However, we have to finish all of the multiplying and dividing before we do any adding and subtracting. So again, the order of operations, we do everything in parentheses, then we do any exponents, then we multiply or divide from left to right, then we add or subtract from left to right. Okay? I think this might make more sense if we do some example problems so that you can see what I mean. Okay, so let's write our next example, or our first example right here. Let's say that we have the problem 5 plus 2 in parentheses to the second power minus 6 divided by 2. Now, if you're having trouble remembering what to do, go ahead and write the order of operations on the side, and then we can check them off as we go. So we're going to start with our P, which is parentheses. So as you can see, we have 5 plus 2 in parentheses, which of course is 7. Now, anytime you do order of operations problems, it's very important that you do one step at a time and bring everything else down. So all I'm doing right now is I'm evaluating the 5 plus 2 is 7, and I bring everything else straight down. Okay? The next thing I'm going to do is see if there's any more parentheses, which there's not. So we've finished evaluating everything within the parentheses. Now we're going to move on to E, which is exponents. Right here, you can see that we have an exponent. 7 to the second power, remember that means 7 times 7, which is 49. I'm doing one thing at a time, so now I have 49 minus 6 divided by 2. Okay, I have now completed all the exponents, and I'm going to see if I have any multiplication or division. There's no multiplication, but we do have division. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Again, one step at a time. All I've done is evaluated the 6 divided by 2 to get 3, and I bring everything else down. My final step is to subtract. 49 minus 3 equals 46. So our final answer is 46. Okay? Let's take a look at another example. Okay. Let's say we have 36 divided by 6 times 4 minus 3 to the second power. Again, we're always going to use PEMDAS. And let's start with parentheses. In this problem, we have no parentheses, so there's nothing to do there. The next thing we're going to do is look for exponents. Hopefully you see right away that we do have an exponent, which is 3 to the second power. 3 to the second power means 3 times 3, which is 9. I'm going to evaluate only that part and bring everything else down. Okay? Now I have no further exponents. I have completed that step. Now I'm going to do multiplication and division. But remember, we have to go from left to right, which means sometimes we divide before we multiply. In this case, when we go from left to right, we see that division is first. 36 divided by 6 equals 6. I'm going to bring everything else down because, again, I'm only doing one step at a time. Now, I'm still on the multiplying and dividing step because I have multiplication left. 6 times 4 is equal to 24. Bring everything else down, which now is just the minus 9. And our final step is 24 minus 9. We've completed the multiplying and dividing, and now we're going on to addition, which we don't have, and subtraction. 24 minus 9 equals 15. So our final answer is going to be 15. Let's try one more, and then I think you'll be ready to try some on your own. Here's the last problem we'll do together. 8 minus 4 times 2 plus 6. Again, can write everything down so I don't forget the order. And I'm going to start with parentheses. In this case, we do not have parentheses. So easy, we're done with that. Now we look for exponents. We do not have any exponents. We're done with that. Now we have to see, is there any multiplication or division? Well, I see multiplication right here. 4 times 2 equals 8. I do my one step at a time, and I bring everything else down. So it now says 8 minus 8 plus 6. Okay? We don't have any more multiplying or dividing. We only have addition and subtraction. So whenever we have only addition and subtraction left, we're going to move from left to right. 8 minus 8 is 0. I bring down the plus 6. And 0 plus 6 is equal to 6. So our final answer here is 6. Hopefully this helps, and I think that now you would be ready to go ahead and do your practice problems. Remember to always go in the order of operations: parentheses, exponents, multiply and divide from left to right, and then add or subtract from left to right. Good luck, and let your teacher know if you have any questions.